If you've followed my channel for any time now or have known anything about my eBay stores, my eBay journey, you'll know that one of the most tiring and frustrating conversations that we have here is trying to figure out how we can store all this stuff that's listed on eBay. It gets really tough because we're trying to maximize the amount of space that we can use to store inventory in. Obviously, space is money, and we don't want to be wasting a ton of space storing everything. Yet we also want to create a system that's super quick to be able to find everything so we can pack it. We don't want to waste time looking through shelves, looking through bins, trying to find certain things. And that could add up over the course of 50, 100 items. If you're doing that a week, you're going to be spending an extra few hours every single week trying to find things. I also, generally speaking, like to find things that will protect my items from, dust and other things collecting on them. That's why you'll see I use a lot of bins, I use a lot of drawers, and I use a lot of different Ziploc bags and things that will protect items so they don't get, dusty and I don't have to clean them before I send them out. There's also a whole bunch of different factors that go into creating an efficient inventory system and logging everything. I mean, it can be an entire pain in the butt. So, it's something that I've been struggling here with for quite some time, and today we're going to be focusing specifically on my video game inventory system because I think I may have finally found the best, most optimized solution for storing video games. So here's the deal. We've tried many different things now. We've tried things like these bins back here. You'll see the white ones and the red ones. I'm trying to point them over there. The white and red ones, which all store different video games. They store 18 games a piece. And unfortunately, they're not the most efficient things. I figure that on these shelves, if I was really going for it, I could probably get 200 to 300 video games on each shelf. That's packing them all in there really tightly, not being able to see all the titles. But if I was just strictly looking at, cubic space of storing video games, I would be able to get probably 200 to 300. Currently though, with this bin system, I'm currently getting about 120, give or take a few. So 120 games is what I'm currently storing per each shelf. That's not per full unit, that's per actual shelf. But that's not cutting it. You guys remember a few videos ago, we went out and we bought even more shelves to accommodate more bins to store more games. But another thing that I was thinking about was, why can't we just make each shelf individually more efficient? That way we don't have to continue to buy more shelves and keep pushing out into other rooms and expanding the office here. You guys have left tons of great suggestions over the past few months, everything from putting things in games in elastic bands. I think Airval had a great idea that he was mentioning to me about that, getting some super wide rubber bands, and then you can store as many games, stack them up to the ceiling on each shelf, but have them all in a band that tells you what bin number or SKU number those games belong to. It's not a bad idea, and I might even try that still in the future, but unfortunately I just still thought it would look a little bit unorganized and be a little bit difficult to access, and when I took too many games out, they would start to slide out of the rubber bands, and I just didn't want to risk anything. Another great idea that probably would have worked was labeling each individual shelf a certain SKU number and then just throwing everything on that shelf, or even labeling certain parts of a shelf a certain SKU number, but I still think that would be quite tedious and I would end up dropping things trying to get to the back of the shelf. It would just be a mess. The reality is I'm actually really in love with the bin system that we have going on here. They're easy to move around. I can bring them to wherever I'm listing and list to certain bins, and I don't have to worry about running out of room on a shelf. I know exactly how many games will fit into each bin. So that got me thinking, is there a way that I could optimize the bin system, utilize that same concept on a larger scale though, which maybe maximize the use of these shelves? Well, I think that's what I figured out today. So I was shopping around trying to find the best bin system for these shelves, and I really couldn't find any plastic, Tupperwares, bins, anything of that nature that fit my needs. But that's when I thought maybe I could use cardboard boxes instead, and I could get either some custom ones made, or I could find somebody with, ideal size, something that really would fit well on these shelves to maximize my storage. Sure enough, I spent some time on Uline the other day measuring out a bunch of things, and I think I found a pretty good solution. I got 18 by 8 by 6 boxes, which seem pretty decent. They're pretty thick and high quality, so I think they'll last, and I actually ordered them. They're here today, and they cost me quite a bit. I think I spent about $115, $130 on them here, so well over $2 a box. I got 50 of them in total, and I'm just hoping that they'll last and that this system will work, because that's quite a bit to dish out, especially for cardboard boxes. But 18 inches in length, my shelves here are 16-inch depth, so they will hang over by about 2 inches, giving us a little bit of extra room to store things on. Then of course they're 8 inches wide, which accommodates the 7.5 height that a video game or DVD is. And then they're 6 inches tall, which I've got about 14 inches to play with here in height, so I can stack 2 of them at 12 inches and that will be fine. Now the cool thing here is that they're 32 inches wide, my shelves are, which means that technically speaking at 8 inches a bin, we could fit 4 bins wide. Except I'm not exactly sure what the exterior size of these bins are. Either way, if we're just getting away with 6 of them again, like we have over here, we're gonna do fine and double our storage. But if we can get away with 8 of them per shelf, if we can maximize that 32 inches and get 4 bins per shelf, we're gonna be flying away with ridiculous amounts of inventory and capacity numbers. So we're gonna have to see if we can actually do that. But again, I've got all the boxes here today. We're gonna go ahead and try to assemble them all get them all set up on the shelf. We're going to come up with a label system for them and somehow figure out how we're going to address all these bins. Or we're going to continue the current system that I have, most likely, but we might come up with something new, so we'll see. But nevertheless, we're going to go ahead and get started on that, build up some new bins, and start, stacking up these new shelves and figuring out how much capacity we can really get out of these with this new system. And so here are the cardboard boxes I got. This is what, about 115, 130, again, I can't remember, whatever the total is. This is what let's call it $115 of boxes looks like, and it's pretty ridiculous. It's really not a lot for $100, which kind of sucks. I mean, obviously, eBay charges up for them as well, but you can definitely get wholesale boxes or even free boxes, so that's why I would never probably pay this much for boxes I was going to use to ship things with. But in this case, we were already paying $2 for the bins that we had over here, so I'm not against paying $2 for these if they're going to double our capacity. But, I mean, one-day shipping, you can't complain. This stuff came quick, and they look to be high-quality ones, so I'm super excited. What we have to do now is unbox this entire thing, get a whole bunch of them out, and we're going to start setting them up on the shelves and see how we can work around them here and figure out what the best layout will be. I'm going to go ahead here, though, and build 8 of them right off the bat. I've got 50 in total. Again, they're in batches of 25. That's what you buy them from Uline. They come in that. So we're going to go ahead and pull out 8 of them here. I'm going to get them assembled. Then we're going to see how we want to play around with getting these guys on the shelves and see if we can even fit 8 of them on one shelf. But this could be a lot better than our current bins, which are really not optimized. Again, 18 games. They're quite wide. They're taking up a lot of space, and they definitely don't hang over at all. We could get easily another 6 to 10 games in there if we were, maximizing that length. So this is going to be the same layout. The games are going to sit the same way in these bins, but we're just going to be able to maximize it and, again, get way more per each bin. All right, I'm going to get these apart, get 8 of them built, and then we're going to take a look at how those sit on the shelves. Well, I just got 8 boxes made, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to fit 8 per row, like nowhere close. But we could fit 7 per row if we do it like this. So, yeah, we were like hanging over probably by about this much if we were to do 8. So that was not going to work. But I'm very happy with these boxes. They're very high end. They are sitting well on top of each other, like they're not going to fall into each other. But we could do something like this on the end. They are so tight with the games, like this. I mean, they're not super tight. You can still get things out if I just move things around or whatever. But they're tight enough that they'll hold the games in like this. So what we could do is on the end of every row, just have one bin like this. Then we have a couple random items on top, or we could leave the entire area empty and just store extra stuff there, whatever we think. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get 8. On these top ones, we definitely will, because we're going to be able to stack them all the way over on either side. So that will be good. But for right now, we're going to have to leave it like this. So I'm very excited, though. This is a great system. What I'm thinking about doing is maybe getting the rest of the boxes made. I'm not sure how far we want to go with this, because I could make boxes enough for the entirety of maybe one shelf will be a good start. I don't want to do all of them yet in case we have other stuff to store, but I think that's not a bad idea. So why don't I go ahead and I'll get boxes done for this entire shelf here, I think, and then yeah, that should work. And then we'll expand as we need to on the other shelf. There's also room. Again, if we really wanted to go crazy, we could store on this shelf as well. I'm seeing now the slight problem of putting the shelves up together like this. This was one of the first things that Airval mentioned to me after watching my video where I assembled these, which was that how are you going to access the items back there? I suppose I'll just move these over. It's not a whole bunch of space back there, but just enough to store maybe a couple longer selling items that don't sell as quickly. But anyway, right now it's not a problem. The shelves are not very overloaded, so I'm not too concerned yet. But that might be a problem going in the future, in which case we can always just push out a little bit, move this shelf over, and get more room that way. So I'm not too concerned about that at all. But overall, really happy with this, and we're going to have to get some labels made here in a few minutes. But I'm going to go ahead, get one whole shelf's worth of them done. This is going to give us so much storage. I'm so excited. And then we'll move on from there. It's starting to look so full, guys. Check this out. We've got plenty of boxes made now. I think there's a total of all 6, 12, and then 8, whatever that equals. So 20, exactly. But nevertheless, we've got all these boxes made up. Very exciting. I've decided that I'm just going to stick with these for now. We're going to try them out before I go and I fill out every single shelf with them. So I put the extra down there. You'll have to excuse me stepping all the nonsense down here, but we've got a good amount of them done. So now it's just gonna be a matter, I'm gonna go over and check how many games we can actually fit in each one, because I think that's something that I'm quite curious about. So I wanna double check that and see how much better we are than these guys right off the bat. I was able to get 8 up top, which was nice. Not sure if they're gonna stay like that, because I'm just doing 6 for the other ones for now, but for now that will work. So that was nice, and yeah, overall just happy with them. Again, we're gonna go get those the counts done for them, and then we'll go ahead and get some labels printed so we know what's what. So we'll continue, I think, the previous system. You can see I've got, 49. We ended with 50. So I think we will continue 51, 52, and so on. And I think that's how we'll do it. Yeah, I just think it's good to be consistent. That way, if we need to transfer over, let's say all of these to the cardboard boxes, they'll all match and make sense. Or if we hate the boxes and we transfer back to these, it will all make sense, sort of thing, So just to have some consistency there, I think would be a great thing. So we'll go ahead and get those done, but first I'm just gonna go ahead and check on capacity and see how we're doing. So I just went ahead and filled up one box here, guys, kind of as a test, and take a look. We can actually fit 30 games in these things. This is 30 that you're seeing right now. Now, obviously, I'm probably not gonna put 30. I guess I could. I mean, it gets a little bit tight and harder to get things out. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit tough, especially with these guys. They're not quite worked in yet. I've just folded them over. If I was to cut those off, we'd have a much easier time getting things out. This one is particularly stuck for some reason, but, for example, most of them, I think, would come out without too much trouble. Yeah, so we could definitely do 30. I'm probably going to leave it at about 29, though, so we have a little bit of room to move them side to side and grab things. Anyway, that instead of 18 is quite a lot, and if we just do the math here really quickly, I pull up my calculator, 108 games is what we would have got with the old bins. And now with these bins, we're going to easily be getting 180 games. So almost 80 more games, or 70, 72 more games to be exact, that we're getting per shelf. So not too bad at all, and that's going to really help us grow the store. It's like one extra lot per shelf, basically. So that is sweet. Plus on those top ones, maxing them out with 8 bins like that, times 30. You guys do the math. I think that's like 230 or no 220. I don't know. Anyway, it's high. It's quite a bit of games, so I'm very excited about these. I'm gonna go ahead and take these guys out. These are actually all broken games. I just put them in here for fun, but yeah, I mean, overall I call this a big success. Now let's go ahead and take a look at how we're going to approach making some labels for these guys. So I've got these label sheets, guys, and these are 300 label packs I picked up from the Dollar Tree for $1.25 a pack, and I'm thinking these are what we're going to want to use to label all of these bins. I've got the software already installed, or the formatted page already installed, and I don't want to write them all out by hand, so I think I'm just going to go ahead, drag and drop all the numbers I need into that software, into that program, and then we'll go ahead and just print out on one of these sheets. Will probably get us going. I'm going to do both sides of each bin. I don't want to have to worry about flipping a bin around to make sure it's the right way, so while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and hit both sides of every bin, and I think it's going to look really good, so I'm excited about that. Again, I'm going to go ahead now and format that all on a sheet, and we'll see how many sheets we're going to use, probably 1 or 2. Well, that only took a second, but I ended up formatting an entire sheet like this, and now I have it right here in paper. So yeah, really simple there. I think I'm just going to do the one sheet for now. I don't want to waste any extra labels at the moment because I can't go out and buy them. So if I need to do shipping and whatnot, I just need to make sure that I have some of these. So I'm going to go ahead and and just use these ones for now. And this will get us by for now. We've got plenty of bins here, so that'll be fine for the next week or two. So yeah, now it's time to go ahead and place all of these onto the different bins. I'm going to go and do that, and then I will show you guys the final result. And now here's a look at all the boxes with their labels on them, and I'm starting to think this is looking pretty darn good. So I'm happy with how this all turned out. As you can see, I'm missing a few labels there for the bottom ones, but other than that, we've got them all labeled up here, and this will be plenty. Again, it will do for now, and I just don't want to waste too many of those sheets. So yeah, really happy with that. This is the only bin right here, which actually has some stuff in it right now, but I'm going to go ahead and start filling up the rest of them here. I've got a couple lots I'm going to be working on over the next couple days. So I'm really excited to give these a try here and see how they work. But yeah, I mean, so far I'm pleased with them. It's, again, unfortunate we couldn't fit 4 per row, but other than that, this is still way more storage than we had before. So I'm not complaining at all. And yeah, I'm just excited overall to see how this system works out. And hopefully this will be the long-term solution here. But then again, things are always changing. But this will do for now, so I'm very happy with it. Okay, guys, well, for now, it's looking like that's going to be a really great solution. Again, just want to come on here and make a quick video showcasing my solution to this problem. And of course, if you're selling video games or DVDs or any kind of media, I got these boxes from Uline. I could even leave a link down below to where I got them. If I remember, I will. I'll put that down there so you guys can check them out. But anyway, we've got, yeah, 18 by 8 by 6, so pretty good size there, and it's a great way to store some things. And if you don't want to use those, again, the dollar store has a couple of great options as well. But that's my solution for now, and I'm thinking that it's going to do us just fine here for the next little bit. If you guys found some value in this video or have anything to say about the boxes I got here, if you think it was a good or bad idea, be sure to let me know down below what your opinion is on it, and any other comments that you may have regarding this video. Leave a like on it if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I will see you guys all in the next video.